His name was already Jeremiah in heaven. His name was not given Jeremiah on the earth. His name was given Jeremiah in heaven. And then God said, before you were born, I already knew you. You know, many years ago, a dear friend of mine, a pastor in Chennai, the city where I come from, his oldest daughter gave birth to her second son. And they asked me to dedicate the baby. So they brought on a particular Sunday where they was going to dedicate the baby. And so I took the baby, and before I dedicated, I asked the parents, what do you call him? So they said, this is the name they were chosen for the baby. Okay, fine. I took out the baby in my hand and I closed my eyes to pray. As soon as I closed my eyes, my spiritual eyes saw into heaven, and I saw the prophet Elijah together with a company of prophets standing in heaven. And he looked at me and he said, that is the wrong name that has been selected by the parents. That is not the name of the boy as it is written in heaven. So don't dedicate this baby, because that is the wrong name. Wrong name nullifies your destiny. You see, Abraham, his destiny was changed, his name was changed. Abraham. Sarai, her destiny changed, name changed. Sarah. Jacob, destiny changed, name changed. Israel. So likewise, you already have a name. So I looked at the parents. The whole church was all looking at me. I said, I cannot dedicate your baby because this is the wrong name. That is the senior pastor's daughter. So be it. So I gave the baby back, and I was about to get off the church and go down to sit, when the daughter, she pulled my hand and said, Uncle, please, what should we do? They were very afraid, thinking that they had done something wrong. I then explained to them, now this is not the name. That is name of this boy in heaven. Why don't you and your husband spend some days praying and asking God what is the name, and then I will come and dedicate the baby. So I walked away, and the father called me, said, please come. Why don't you pray right now and ask God what is that name? I said, that's not my responsibility. That's your responsibility. Then the father said, but you started all this. So I said, all right. On an exception. This is not a norm that I always do. This is just an exception. Because the pastor is a very dear friend of mine. So I took up the baby in my hand, and I looked up and I saw the council again. And I asked the same to Elijah, so what is the name that is determined for this boy in heaven? And then Elijah told me, this is the name that is written in heaven for him. Now tell it to the parents. And then with the name came the call of the boy, his call and his destiny. Then I told them, said, this is what I was told. Do you accept it? They said, of course, uncle, please dedicate our baby. You know, today, that boy is 5 years old, and he's walking in the office of a prophet. And that was what I was shown when I was holding him as a baby. See, the destiny of what it is in heaven, the call. There was another time where I was called by the Holy Spirit to pray for a friend of mine, a pastor, for his wife. I knew she was pregnant, and this was just maybe a couple of weeks into her pregnancy. Before, through scanning, you can even determine the sex of the baby. So as I was praying in the Spirit, I was caught up into heaven, And I went into a room, a very large room. I didn't know what this place looked like, but there was a gigantic brain, as huge. Let's say the room was about this size. The brain was so huge, it extended from one end of this room to the other end of this room. It was that huge, big. It literally looked like a brain, like how we would see in pictures, you know. So I stood behind the back end of the brain, and when I saw the brain, I knew in my spirit it was the mind of God. And then I was transformed into a small ball of light, and I entered into the mind of God. And and I traveled from, you know, the brain has many lobes, the wiggles around. So from one end of the brain, I travel at the speed of light to the other end of the brain. And every now and then, I would just brush against the flesh of the brain. And every time my skin touched the flesh, I received a revelation about the baby, the fetus in the woman's womb. So the first thing I received was, she's carrying a baby boy. The next was his name. He shall be called Samuel. And then next was how he should be trained, how he should be brought up, how he should be taught from the day he was born or formed in his mother's womb right up to his 25 years of age. His entire life was shown to me. So when I came out of the vision, I called the pastor and I told them what I saw, and they were so excited. Today, that boy is 20 years old, and the mother told me that whatever that I told them before he was even born has all come to pass in his life right up to the 20th year of his life. And he was walking in the anointing just like the prophet Samuel.
Hallo, 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 welkom, welkom, welkom. Guten Tag, guten Morgens, bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good afternoon. ¿Cómo está? Señor, señorita, and my dear audience, I do really love you, and as Jesus I love you all. I always do this every Saturday because I do work for the kingdom of heaven. I don't work for anyone. God is my true employer. And many of us don't know that. The presidents don't know that. Senators don't know that. Congressmen don't know that. People in the street don't know that. Your first employer is God. Without Him, you will not have what you have. And I'll be explaining that to you very soon. Today is a very beautiful day. I have a message of Jesus Christ for what happened in Syria recently, and to President Trump and his ally of the New World Order, walking along with the Prince of Darkness, for purpose unknown to those who don't have the spiritual eyes open. We live in a dangerous world where lament say that God is my provider, is my first employer. Because in heaven, there are two banks. The first bank is the treasure bank of heaven of provision. The treasure bank of heaven of provision. It means that bank is there to provide to people who call for heaven to help, for help. Or also that it was written in your journey, in your life, in your book of life, that you're gonna have this and that. When you have a job, money have to be coming over there. It means where you're working, God opened the financial opportunity for that employer, and that employer will hire you and pay you with the same money God have given above. That's how it goes. It means some people will have blessing by just employing certain people, because those people are in the right position, the right place. That's how it works. It means when you get employed by someone, God will not give you the money directly. He will open the financial opportunity for that company with the prospectus of hiring you so that you can be paid. And when God wants to raise your salary, when God wants to raise your finance, He will raise the finance of the company. And for some reason, the person going to say, we're going to raise you. That's how it works. You don't get a job because you're most intelligent among many people around the world. You don't get a position because you're better than everybody. You don't become president because you're better than everybody. It was written, and you are just fulfilling what was written. So you have to be humble and accept it. That God is your employer. Okay? You are not there because of your effort. You are not there because of, you are there because of your name. Your name is your destiny. But who gave you your name? Who inspire your parent to give you that name? It's God. Because your name is directly associated with your divine purpose. Example for me. My name is Gabriel Angel Tyson. Gabriel means what? The power of God. Daikon means what? The higher illumination. NJOH means what? Charity. When you put all of that together, it is the charitable higher illumination of the power of God. I mean, everywhere I go, prosper will follow. Light is with me. God is with me. My future is success, glory, and abundance. And charitable, it means free. It means I will give. And that's what I've been doing. If people will look at me very closely, I've been helping people. It's just natural. It's just who you are. Your name is your destiny. The charitable higher illumination of the power of God. That's my name. That's what Gabriel Angel-H Daikon means. So when people sitting there comparing themselves to other people, you're going to have the same name. You don't have the same divine purpose. Find your divine purpose and start comparing yourself to yourself. Then you grow. People don't understand. I'm comparing myself with the divine purpose that God has written for me. Because a lot of you are offset completely. 180 degrees from what God has written for you. So start comparing yourself to yourself. Because what God has written for you is perfect, is greater, is better, is awesome. Don't be looking at somebody else and thinking you're going to get somebody else's name or somebody else's different purpose. Waste of time. The trick of the prince of darkness. What I meant, the new world order is at work. One control the world. I'm an American citizen who do not agree with certain things that this country is doing. Who do not agree with certain things that some leaders around the world are doing, because they are against the will of God. Even though that some of them are blessed, I want to clarify to them what Jesus Christ said. Blessing do not guarantee that you are a choosing of God, but fulfilling the blessing guarantee that. Many of us are blessed. You can see sometimes people say that God is the one who put Donald Trump there because he's blessed. Now, to be chosen, to be accepted by God at the end, is how you finish, how you fulfill that blessing into the end. So many of us are blessed. Though not many of us make it, because we don't fulfill that divine purpose. So you see, the President of the United States was put in place by God. You have a new world order. Lucifer have a plan. He wants to destroy things that are of God. Syria is the only, one of the, I believe the only country there where the president is a Christian. And that place, as you said, the president said that yesterday, is a very much deplorable place, very bad place. It's a trouble place, he called it. It's a trouble place, to say clear, which is okay, which is correct. Which is correct, it's a trouble place. Why? Because that place is where the first sin happened. That's where the Garden of Eden was, in that area, in that region. That place is where Jesus Christ was crucified. That place is where Jesus Christ resurrected from death. That place is where most of the counsel of God today have lived. You're talking about from Adam, Enoch to Noah, to Abraham, Jacob, Joseph, all of those people. Elijah, Ezekiah, Elisha, Daniel, all that, you know. They live in the area. There is a spiritual warfare in that region. So if the devil controls that region, and that place is where the kingdom is, where the headquarters of the kingdom of Jesus Christ will be. That place is where the Bible was written. That place is where most of the apostles came from. So yes, it's a trouble place. It's correct. Because that place is where Abraham had a son called Ishmael, and God said trouble is coming. He'll be a donkey of a man. He will be conquered by many nations. God said that long time ago. Yeah, Donald Trump is correct. And the God is in him talking. It's a trouble place. But that's why the devil want to control that place. Because there's a spiritual ramification in that region. Because the end going to be in that region. When the invasion of Israel going to happen, that will trigger the return of Christ. It will be in that region. So, Al-Assad, the Christian brother, they can call him a dictator because that's what they got to do. You know, they call Saddam Hussein a dictator, they call Gaddafi a dictator. The only reasons Al-Assad is not taken out is because Russia is already established in that country. That's one of the first reasons. The second reason is that they're looking at the experience of what happened in Iraq and Libya. No good. No good. They placed people there who became radicalized more than radical Islam. So a complete mess. So they better deal with somebody like Al-Assad and deal with people like that to avoid chaotic situation like what happened in Iraq and Libya. So let me go back to the history of Syria, of Assyria, where Syria come from. It started during David's time, when David took power. David conquered and expanded the kingdom of Israel. So when he expanded that, all those countries that you see today, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, they were all some of them part of the kingdom of Israel, composed of the 12 tribes. Now, and David made the capital of Israel Jerusalem. It's very clear. There was no other country, even the Philistine, who are today the Palestine, their capital was not Jerusalem. When David conquered that region, expanded the kingdom of Israel, he made the capital Israel. It is written in the Bible, it's very clear. Okay, what is written in the Bible is true, and that is what it is. And God put it there for a reason. Now, if the Philistine can come and tell us that the capital was Israel, was Jerusalem, they have to prove it to us because it's not there. I'm not saying that it was not the territory. It used to be the territory conquered by David. He made it official, his capital. It's like today you're going to see the Native American coming and say, this is our territory. Those people here, they were not here before. We want them to leave. The same kind of things. You know, the Native America, we took all the territory. Where are they? They live in mountains and they have their own government who are, under the government of the people who invaded the continent. It's going to be the same kind of things. Why not people accept reality? You want to change a reality that is in place that you know that you will not change, it cannot be changed. Yeah, it started during the time of David. He conquered the place. Back then, that's what it was. Expansion of kingdoms. And the Philistine became subject of the kingdom of David at the time, because it became powerful kingdom. Now, when David died, he gave the throne to his son Solomon, the wisest person who made a lot of error at the end. He was too wise that he could not realize that his wisdom was not above God. Okay? I'm not criticizing him. He's in heaven. I'm still here. I don't know. But I'm just saying. Now, the point is this. I'm saying the truth because it's written in the Bible. He had that inheritance given to him by his father. The father put in place David a place where the temple will be built. God said to David, you will not build that temple because your hands are dirty. You have killed too many people for me. You can build that temple. You have to be built by somebody who have clean hand. So you have to be a son. So David said, this is the map, this is the money, just build it. That's what happened. Samuel was already done. Now Nathan came in place, who became the advisor of Solomon. Samuel was the advisor of David, and Nathan came in between and continued with Solomon as his advisor, like a prophet of God advising, like Samuel was. Now you have Solomon in kingdom. Solomon raised the taxes of all the region around his kingdom, including Syria, the region of Syria, and other region around. So now people start saying this is somebody who inherited a lot of money, but he still want more money. So the revolution happened. People start complaining. This is Solomon. The news came to his throne that people are not happy about you raising taxes, becoming more wealthy, and you do nothing for the kingdom. It was a very big kingdom, like I told you. It was expanded by David. Now this is what Solomon did. He said, okay, because back then there were no YouTube, there were no MSNBC or CNN and stuff like that. Many people knew his name, but nobody knew his face. Not many people knew his face, but they knew the name. So one day he decided to go to a club where people drink around Jerusalem, just to see. So he went to the backyard of the kingdom, of the temple of his residency, you know, the king president residency. So he went on the back, you know, like always, there's always doors like that. So he went there, nobody knew who he was. He came and sat down on that bar or nightclub back then, and listened to people. He said how people were cursing him, people were talking bad about him. He understood that this was real. People were very angry, like this is a guy, he was born, the father had the money, and suddenly he just come up and just raising taxes because he want to be more rich and rich. He's marrying too many women, and the women are coming here with all kind of gods. You know, he married the daughter of the Pharaoh, married the daughter of the Babylonian king. He married the daughter of the I mean, he did it the Queen Sheba, where Menelik came, the Ethiopian genealogy, and he married the king, the daughter of the king of India. I mean, he had all the daughter of all the kings, and they were bringing all those gods in Jerusalem. So this is what happened. People will say, what did that have to do with Syria? I'm coming. Hold on. Now, what happened is, somehow he was not too happy about what people were saying, and he tried to fight because he was not too happy. And people thought, you know, they tried to beat him. They realized, no, okay, he's a madman. They didn't realize he was a king because he was disliked by what people were saying. So he decided to leave the place, going back to the back road, back to the residency of the king. Nobody knew that he did that. So he was walking by himself. So that was a poor man on the street begging for money, and the poor man keeps saying, please, the son of David. No, the someone said, please, I need some coins to feed my family. That's what the poor man said. Please, I need some coin to feed my family. Because he was so mad that he actually didn't want to give. You see, these are the poor men who are insulting me, but they're needing money too from me. I'm not giving nothing to you. So he went back. The guy insisted, please, I need some coins. And then when what he did, he was so tired about that guy keep asking, so he took money and just threw it to his pocket. Okay, you asking for coins? Okay, this is a coins. So when he was walking, now he didn't realize it was God. So God said to him, Solomon, the son of David. That's when he knew that person was not a simple person, because that person could not know him, know his name, know his father. He can only be, and he know the voice of God. So God said, because of your action, I will take your kingdom away from you. I will divide your kingdom in two. You're going to stay with 2 tribes, and the other 10 tribes, I will give it to the righteous person who have helped you to build the temple. That guy was an educated guy, but who knew how to build, who knew architecture. He was poor, and Solomon took him and brought him in to build the temple. And that's the guy God said he will be the one inheriting the 10 other tribes. It means the territory will be divided. That was the end of it. Now Solomon gone, tried to kill the guy. God said to the guy, leave the place, go to Egypt. When the time will come, I'll send you back. He went back, he came back. And God said, go to the temple or to the residency of the king, ask for audience, and go with those robes. These are 12 robes. Ask him to reduce the taxes. If he doesn't, you tell him, these are the 2 robes for you, for your 2 tribes, 2 territory you're gonna have, and those 10 are for me. And that'll be the end of it. So the guy went over there, and he asked Solomon. First of all, Solomon wanted him to be arrested. When the guy was before Solomon, the king, Solomon asked him, arrest him. Nobody moved. It was like he was talking to people who could not listen. His army was there. Arrest him. Nobody wanted to arrest him. The guy said to Solomon, reduce the taxes as God spoke to you, and he will restore your kingdom. He refused. Now the guy said, because of that, these are the 2 tribes you have left, and the other 10 tribes are for me. The kingdom will be divided in 2. And he turned his back. You know, that was an insult to the king. And Solomon was so hungry, he said, arrest him. Nobody will. And when he was saying arrest him, people will open the door for him. Like it was like the power of God was with that guy. That is the reason Solomon wrote, vanity of vanity, everything is vanity. It's not because he was too wise, it's because the experience he got. He realized that even with money, he could not do what he wanted to do. Even with power, he could not do what he wanted to do. That's why he came up with this gold and stuff. These are just vanity, vanity of vanity, everything is vanity. That's why. Because a person he thought who was poor is the one who's going to inherit what David worked for, because that person have integrity with God. He followed God's word step by step, and that's the one God has chosen among many people. Therefore, that is where the Assyrian kingdom came in place. When that guy became king, the kingdom of Israel got divided in 2. The other part became Assyria. That's where Syria come derived from. And the other kingdom stay Israel. That's what you have today. The one that the son of Solomon inherited. I think his name was Jacob, something like that. So that's where Syria derived from. So you understand, it's a very deeper, troubling place. Like the president said, I just give you the story of it. Now you have a president who is a Christian in that region, and the devil is not happy about it. They want him out, but they could not take him out. This is what Jesus told me. The strike that was put in air by the United States, the UK, and France will reunite the country, and will make that the people will come together and support Al-Assad for a very long time. See, Jesus Christ don't accept things from happening if it does not work in the favor of his kingdom. I have people who believe that they can just talk about the word of God, God, God. Let me tell you the truth here. I don't care the relationship you have with God the Father. Adonai, El Shalom, El Shaddai, El Elyon, Elohim, Yahweh, Hayuve. I don't care how much you say you know him, but you will never gonna get in harmonization with him if you do not deal with his son. Adonai, El Shalom, El Shaddai, Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Never. It isn't gonna happen. Because I want people to know this. You can talk whatever you want to talk. God may have to choose you for something. You may have a personal relation with God. You might even be, in your spiritual being, a higher prince over there in heaven. But in this life, you came under the umbrella of the glory and power of Jesus Christ. You cannot come to the Father but through him. It's not a negotiation. It's not an option. So I see the people. The human order have leaders that when the devil sees them in the spirit, the devil know there will be a problem for his purpose, for his evil purpose on earth. So they have to go. You know, that's why you saw somebody like Saddam. Saddam was the most evil dictator than who. You have a bunch of dictators in Africa who are still there. You have a bunch of dictators in South America who are still there. You have a bunch of dictators in Asia. You go on with Gaddafi. Gaddafi was a dictator than who? You know? All of those leaders have killed people. They have manipulated the people. If you want to look every single one of them, they are all dictators. They are all killers. But that's not the point. The point is, there are some of them who are very, very important, who are on the verge of changing or impacting the progressive movement of the New World Order. Therefore, they have to go. Saddam was trying to do that. He was trying to control. He was coming hard. He had the ego force, the phoenix, ego phoenix in him. He was rising in that region. Saudi Arabia and other, like they always play that game. Saudi Arabia, they know how to play that game. They say that Iran is the bad over there. Themselves, they are not serious as well. Every single time, like you see the president say something yesterday, the people didn't listen. We don't want Iran to benefit from the eradication of ISIS. Listen to the tone. You went to school, right? This is where your education have to come in place. Not only the paper that you have. When the president say that, many people go, okay, I just listen to his speech. No, it's deeper than that. Why do Iran have to benefit from the eradication of ISIS? Because ISIS was created by Saudi Arabia and some country in the Western world, including our CIA. To do what? To control country in that region. So when they see a country that do not want to be a Muslim country, they send them there to dislocate the government and implement some laws. So what happened? The same people they put in place radicalized themselves and went out of control. That's what it is. And that's what the president Trump said. They don't want Iran to benefit from the eradication of ISIS. Because the ISIS people are mostly Sunnis. And what? Iran are most what? They are Shiite. And Saudi Arabia are more Sunnis. So what happened here? How do you have Iran who truly have a different religious belief than the Sunnis, because the Sunnis are the original of Muhammad, when the Shiite are mostly the Caliph, the guy who came in and just said, okay, this is my way. Is not only to the genealogy of the prophet Muhammad from the Sunnis, but we can go to the Caliph guy, because he broke a lot of bit of democracy that in this thing. That's what is happening. That's what this is all about. Now, the devil look. Gaddafi wanted to defeat the petrodollar. He have a lot of money. He become a problem for the Rothschild family in England. The Rothschild family, if I wanted to tell you, they are the one who own the financial bank of the entire world. They are the one who lift up Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte became crazy. He wanted to become the king of the entire world. They take him out. They say, you don't understand our purpose here. Our purpose here is to control the world, and then you have to follow our guidance. You don't follow that, we take you out. They became wealthy as well. Alright? Now, they are the one who lift up who? Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler also became crazy. He wanted to control everything, so they take him out. But the purpose behind the war is to do what? To become wealthy. Because when when war starts, what happened? Everything shut down, everything go down. The stock market go down. What happened? They purchase the stock market when they're down. $1. And then suddenly the same people who created the problem become the solution of the problem. Oh, the war's over. Now the stock market is high. Now they put the stock market that they purchased in place. What happened? How are you going to catch up with them? They'll be more wealthy and wealthy and wealthy. Exponential time. That's what the Rothschild been doing. How did the Rothschild came in place? When the Catholic Church was the head of the entire world, they collect a lot of money from all over the place around the world. They have a regulation of the church saying that the people of God cannot follow God and follow money. So they find someone who can manage the money. So they give that money to Mr. Rothschild, which is a Jew as well, living where? In England. So he knew how to use that money. From that time to present time, generation of generation, they are the one who own all the banks. They are the world's central bank owner. The worth thousands of trillions of dollars. Now, that's what the worth. Gaddafi was coming. Gaddafi have oil, a lot of it, and gold as well. And he was coming almost with a stock of gold worth about trillions of dollars. And Gaddafi was trying to create his own money that will counterattack the petrodollars. That's what it's all about. So he had to go. For Al-Assad is that Saudi Arabia want him out because he's Christian around the entire region, not too good. He have to go. We want people who believe like we do believe, who are Muslim. But they are the same one who created ISIS and start begging for the world to come and kill ISIS. We created ISIS, but what are we going to do now? They went out of control. But you put somebody in position, he also have his own ambition. The Bible said, the revelation that God is saying today, that Russia is the one who's going to destroy ISIS. And it came to pass. Oh, the United States also claimed the same. Even though that they are the one, the CIA was behind the complicity of creating ISIS. The same thing with Boko Haram, where many people, even in Cameroon, in Nigeria, are part of the people who created Boko Haram. To do what? To control government, to control some events. They talk about Boko Haram. Oh, people are there, Boko Haram. They can go and kill them? No. Oh, they are part of a conspiracy. No, state of panic. Boko Haram, state of panic. People start stealing money. And a state of panic. They put Boko Haram to make people in panic when other people are stealing money. They're controlling people. Oh, it's because of Boko Haram. No, it's because of ISIS. This world, if people don't want to educate themselves and rise up, you're killing yourself. Put yourself into situations that are not correct. This world is the way it is because men have rejected to fight evil. When you reject to fight evil, what happens? Evil will prosper. If everybody follow Jesus' path, the devil will have no work, no job. He'll be jobless. But for some reason, he always have somebody who's so desperate, who want to prove something that he will lose at the end. Let me advise you. Anything that you reach in this world, if you put hard work on it, even if it is evil, you're gonna get it. The problem is that at the end you're gonna answer to God. Because what you don't get is this: if you go to the devil to ask for prosperity, the devil will go to God and get the loan, and God will loan him. God will say, okay, you have a freedom. And this is what the devil said. He said to God and say, you have given your creation the freedom of will. So they have sovereignty of will. You can't come and interfere into the will. You have respect. You need to have respect for the will, like they have respect for your will. That's the agreement they had. And that's why he's clever, God said. So this individual believe that I am his God, and came to ask for favor. So I'm coming to ask you to release what is belong to him. God said, okay, no problem, give it to him. But God knows at the end that person will fail. When the devil takes the money, he come to you, he give it to you with the high interest. That's why the world is what it is today. The devil told you to do certain things that you don't want to do because the interest is too high, it's too costly. Oh, you need to take this leader out of the page, or you need to take this individual out. Those are constraints people are dealing with because they have accepted the devil into the country, into the powerhood. And they have to do things like removing certain leader around because the devil don't like to see them. Creating unnecessary war because the devil asks so. Why? Because he prospered you somehow. You went to him to ask him for favor because you could not wait for God. That's what it's all about. There's nothing that he gave you that come from him. He do not have the power of creation. What he have is belong to God. That's what God said. You fool individual. I am in control of the devil, your father, and I'm in control of you as well. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. The end of the war in Syria is over. The New World Order wanted to make a point. No, they say to President Trump, no, you can't do that. You can't just come up like that. You're going to look weak. You have to do something. Now we started this, we have to finish it like that. Victorious. That's what it is. It is an order of the underground government that control the reality of this physical and visual world. This is what needs to be done. So they arrange things and stuff like that and put it in the news and everybody's like, oh yeah. You don't understand the truth behind it. People might say, oh, Gabriel that is talking to me. I don't talk too much. I bring darkness into light that people need to know. The worst stage. You have the throne of Lucifer in the Vatican, dictating how things gonna go. But when you see that people are like, oh no, they're listening to it like they don't listen to it. Jesus Christ is the path. And I'm asking to all leaders, do not be fooled. You may talk about God as you wish. There's no one who loves God like I do in this planet. I didn't say in this world, I say in this planet. There is no one who loves God like I do. And I take responsibility of my word. Even Jesus Christ knew that. My history with God started long when I was 8, 9. I always knew there was a power above looking at me, and it was God. But it was not the time yet to introduce me to Jesus Christ. But when that time came, he introduced you to Jesus Christ. If you talk about God and that God never introduced you to Jesus Christ, it means you're not talking to the true God. You're talking to someone who was faking like he's God. talking to somebody else. Because the God of heaven, Adonai El Shalom, El Shaddai, El Elyon, Elohim, Yahweh, Hayuve, at the end of the day, he will introduce you to his son, Jesus Christ. You want it or not? It's not an option. The Abraham did it because they want, because Jesus Christ was not in place yet. But now you are born under the umbrella of the ruling and the authority of Jesus Christ. You can get to the Father just like that. If you cannot recognize Jesus Christ, it means your relationship with God is hypocritical. Why? Because you are saying to God, I want to be friends with you, but I don't want to adhere with the way you do things. I just wanted to know you, but I don't want to deal with your son, with anybody else. Pretty much you saying to God, I want it my way. When do a man come and tell his creator what to do? And many people are doing that. They think they can just come because I have $1 billion. Oh, my name is so beautiful. Oh, I'm so beautiful. Oh, I'm a president. And I have a lot of money in the bank account. I'm a celebrity on earth. Well, I can tell God what to do. God, how people, every single time I say something, everybody bow down. And when they see me, everybody scream like they just saw something, like they saw a supernatural being. I'm so beautiful, I'm so known. So God, why not you do things like this? See, when God look at you, you're reminded of him, of those who came before you and who fell and who are actually in hell. Because some of you think that you were born a different kind of human. No, every single human have similar fate. What I meant is, you come in this world, you decide not to follow God's divine purpose, you fail. It's simple as that. You come in this world, you decide to follow your own ambition without God attached to it, you're done. You're not so different than those who are in hell, because they were thinking like you yesterday. See, one day I was walking around the cemetery, and it was about 20 years ago, and we were talking, and there was somebody who wrote in the cemetery, please have respect for us, because yesterday we were like you and tomorrow you're going to be like us. Is not that the truth? The people in the cemetery telling you that? Please have respect for us, because yesterday we used to be like you, but tomorrow you're going to be like us. It is a truth in front of your face, because that's what's going to happen. One day or another, you want it or not, you're going to be 6 feet below. To move on. God will send different generation. Move on. God will move on. And some of us don't want to move on. God will move on. He have many kids out there. God is a generator of soul. He have many. He cannot go out of provision of children. So if some people came here and think that they are the only human being that God have ever created, you have a mental problem. Because out of your stupidity, he will wipe you out and somebody else come. There are many people who come like you, who came like you. We want to do things that the name gonna stay here forever. I don't even think that somebody remember their name. in this specific century. But people know the name of those who got humiliated. If you come before God as a prince, God gonna send you back as a beggar. But if you come before God as a beggar, God will send you out as a prince. It is a simple allegorical relationship between the kingdom of this world and the kingdom of heaven. Certain people just don't get it. They want to come before God as prince. What did Jesus Christ say? Unless a person become like a baby, you cannot enter the kingdom of God. That's what I meant. Oh God, you don't know who I am. You know. God don't know who you are. Some of us need to go to mountain institution to tell them exactly who they are and who God is. You can make your craziness, but when it comes to God, you have to take your position. That's the point, you know. That freedom that God gave us, some people are abusing it. They believe they can do anything they want and they don't have to answer to anyone. No. Even if you defeat the law of nature, you cannot defeat the spiritual laws because they are held by God. And you abandon Him. Because being like a child is being reborn again. It means you have to not be conformed by the way of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, your heart and soul, so that you can believe in God with all your heart, with all your strength and all your mind. That is the pathway of rebirth. Leaning into a childlike individual, mind-wise, obedient to the voice of God, because God will come to you with the intention to kill your flesh. He will peel you off one layer by another layer until nothing is left. When nothing is left, now you're coming before God as a beggar, and God will lift you up as a prince. That is the true wisdom. That is the pathway moving forward into this world, into this life. It's not about talking. It's about being able to fulfill what you believe in your acting life without asking for witnesses, but knowing that God is witnessing your action, even though that others are ignoring your action. You're not here to prove men. You're here to do what pleases God. Even if it's invisible, God is there. That's where your faith has to come in place. It is necessary for people to realize it's not about where you were born that makes you something. It's about how you connect, how you recognize your creator. That count, that makes you something. You can be born in the United States of America. Who made the United States of America? It is God who gave power to the United States of America. It is God. Is the United States of America the only country who have been in power since the beginning of ages? No. There have been Egypt, there have been the Babylonians, there have been the Persians, there have been the Greek, the Romans, there have been who? The UK, the France, Russia, all over the place there in that continent. The Ottoman Empire, you name them. Germany, and then the United States. So the people just are just blind to understand that this thing are controlled by God. That one day we can wake up and then we are not anymore in first place. Because it is God who holds the destiny of each nation, each individual living in those nations. It is not the work of men alone, your founder. George Washington, he cried out to God that God made this nation a great nation without fighting. He just prayed honestly and prayed, and Jesus Christ came down, chopped down the wet floor, the sand that he had, wet with his stride, the tears coming down of his eyes, wet the sand, and Jesus Christ took it, and that was the covenant. That's what made America what it is today. Everything else that you see was just a byproduct of the simple gesture, but very powerful in the spirit realm. It was a simple gesture in the physical realm, but a very powerful gesture in the spiritual realm. And because of the non-opposition ruling of the material to the spiritual overruled the material, so it came to pass. The United States is in place because of Jesus Christ and God's choice. It's not just self-effort. If God decides tomorrow that you're not anymore, you're not anymore. If God decides otherwise, it's what it is. Regardless of what you think, no change. I must see these things. Noah spoke for 120 years. Nobody listened. But suddenly, when something happened, everybody tried to get converted, tried to get saved. It doesn't work like that with God. Seeing before you believe is called sight. It's not faith. But not seeing and believe is called faith. And blessed be those who believe without seeing, because those are the ones who have faith. And faith is the only thing that can move God, and God is the only one who can move mountains. So have faith in God, but not in this world. despite or regardless of the tribulation you face. You have to know Jesus Christ has conquered the world. He is the King. His name is powerful in the spiritual realm. Even though that the devil tried to make it fake in the material realm because of this, the sovereign law of freedom of will in manipulating information. It's because God said when you die you can come back to see the people, oh, this is the truth now. And we know that, the devil know that. So people who die, they can come back and say, oh no, please don't believe in this anymore, please. They can say that. Because when you go to that, you can come back. It is the law God decided. And the devil is using it in his advantage. Because in the spiritual realm, he's a nobody there. Jesus Christ is. But in the material realm, he's using that when people go to the other side, they know the truth, they can come back and see the truth to people. He's using it in his advantage to fool people with the power that he still has, that God has not taken away. He can be an angel of light, manipulating people's thoughts, lying to people, bringing things to people like he's the one who made it. No. I explained to you, he goes to God. There's nothing that happened in this world without God knowing about it. God knows everything. Even the death of people, I know it's difficult for people to get it. That's why you have to understand the spiritual reason behind the reincarnation of the spirit. That you understand why a child like that can die in a car in Cincinnati, and the 911 will work for even people who are drunk. I'm drunk, I'm calling 911, it goes through. But somebody is dying, it's not going through. And you start understanding certain things, that when somebody's time is up, it's up. Certain things you don't understand have spiritual ramifications attached to it. It might not be what to understand, but it is the truth, and the truth is only what will set you free. Otherwise, you keep having question and being certain until you accept what is true. So, I spoke. I just want to say to the President of the United States that I think his speech was very clever, because he did what he didn't want to do, but he got to be done. But at the same time, he want to get the heck out of there. What I can advise him to do is to do what God put him there to do. Not to be involved with the people who have their own deed and try to put everybody in the same soup for things that have nothing to do with the United States. So we got to be careful when we serve God. We have to know God is our main employer. He's the one who employs us, no one else. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Gabriel and Icon, the Charity Medical Foundation ITE, the Comfort Global Health Consultant, the Comfort Global Consultant, and the Med Green IT for clinical research The future of quantum medicine. That's correct. The future of medicine, or the center of the future of medicine, and the center of quantum, of the future of quantum medicine. So important to know. The near future, when the time clock of heaven will be in alignment with the one in a material ramification, then things gonna start working accordingly. Thank you very much, and I hope that this message enlightened you, and maybe you have some new insight, and build your personal relationship with God, and use it to serve others. Use it to be a change into other people's life. And you will be God on heart, on earth. See you next time.